Hello, my name is Arnaud Delorme, and this presentation is about comparing different ways of running EEGLAB, either using Matlab, using the compiled version of EEGLAB, or using Octave. The preferred way to run EEGLAB is on Matlab. EEGLAB is free, but Matlab is a commercial software package produced by the MathWorks. Sometimes your university might make Matlab accessible to all of your staff and students, so you might not be aware of it. I put a link in the description. And a short disclaimer here, we are not affiliated with the MathWorks and do not benefit from you using Matlab in any way. So Matlab offers maximum flexibility, stability, and support. EEGLAB should run on all recent Matlab versions. We try to support Matlab versions from 2008 onward, but sometimes there are glitches in their older versions. The best Matlab version to run EEGLAB is usually 1 or 2 versions before the latest version. So right now, the latest version of Matlab is 2021A. So you want to be super safe, it's best to use Matlab 2020A or 2020B. In terms of additional toolboxes, we recommend the signal processing toolbox and statistics toolbox. The optimization and image processing toolboxes are also used in some rare instances. Even if you do not have any toolbox, EEGLAB will work properly. Some of the EEGLAB plugins might not be functional though. When we release a new version of EEGLAB, we usually test it for several weeks and run more than 5,000 automated tests. However, because our resources are limited, some minor problem can remain. In terms of EEGLAB version, our recommendation is to wait for about a month after a new release, then you can safely start using the latest zip version of EEGLAB. If you want to use the development version of EEGLAB, which has all the latest bug patches and new features, but is also less stable, you can access it from GitHub. In terms of operating system and to achieve maximum stability, there is really no preferences, and all operating systems are fully supported. For naive users, we recommend Windows and macOS because it is sometimes harder to configure graphic drivers for Matlab on Linux. We recommend using a computer with at least 8 GB and if possible 16 GB of memory or more. The second best option to run EEGLAB is to use the compiled version of EEGLAB. Every time EEGLAB is released, which is about every 6 months, it comes in 2 versions, Matlab and compiled for Windows and for Mac. The compiled version does not require Matlab and is completely free. This compiled version of EEGLAB has exactly the same capabilities as the Matlab version, with 2 notable exceptions. First, it is not possible to add or update plugins. We have tried to add the most common plugins to the compiled version, but some are missing. To add more plugins, EEGLAB would need to be recompiled with these plugins. The second limitation is that although you can run script, some scripting capabilities are limited. This is a minor limitation for most users. If you do not have access to Matlab and do not wish to purchase a Matlab license, we strongly recommend this option. Also, using the compiled version of EEGLAB is ideal for teaching. The third and last option is to use Octave, which is free. We would recommend this option if you're already familiar with Octave and want to write advanced script but do not want to use Matlab. Also, this is a viable option if you have access to high-performance computing resources, such as a supercomputer, do not have access to Matlab on these resources. We do not recommend this option for beginners, though. Octave has come a long way in the past few years to increase compatibility with Matlab, especially graphical compatibility. Although the core EEGLAB code should be fully compatible with Octave, this might not be the case for EEGLAB plugins. There are minor differences. Most of the time, Matlab executes faster than Octave. Also, you cannot use the EEGLAB plugin manager on Octave. Instead, you have to install plugins by downloading them from the web and placing them in the EEGLAB plugin folder. If you use Octave, it is better to use the Windows distribution because EEGLAB menu will be similar to how they look in Matlab, which will not be the case for Mac. When using Octave, it is better to use the development version of EEGLAB available on GitHub. This will ensure that if you uncover a glitch, we can quickly fix it. Here I'll show you a comparison of the same EEGLAB development code running on Matlab and Octave. For Octave, we use version 6.1. We recommend using the latest version of Octave. So I'm going to quickly illustrate here the difference between Matlab and Octave. Here we have Matlab on the left, Matlab common window and the EEGLAB graphic interface, and Octave on the right with the Octave command line interface and Octave GUI. So we're just going to load a file and do some basic manipulation. So we're loading the epoch tutorial EEG dataset, and then we're just going to scroll through it. So here selecting an epoch, scrolling through it. Now we'll do the same in Octave. So file, load the dataset, and now scroll through it. And we can also select epoch. It's a bit slower on Octave. And now we're going to plot some 3D scalp topographies, so component maps in 3D. And here I'm just going to plot component 1 to 3. So this is in Octave again, and here we've plotted the components. We can also click on one component and we can rotate it. Sometimes in Octave you have to fiddle a bit with the window to show what's inside. That's on Octave. Now let's do the same on Matlab. And plot a component. To sum up, the best option is to use EEGLAB on Matlab. The second best option is to use the compiled version of EEGLAB, and the third one to use EEGLAB on Octave. So this is the end of this presentation. Thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you in one of my future videos.